Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Perky Prepper. My name is Taylor, and today I want to talk about first aid preparedness in our bug out bags. So the reason why I want to talk about this is I think it's one of the most important areas of emergency preparedness, but something that a lot of people kind of just cross off the list, get the bare minimum and say, okay, great, I'm good to go, and don't really think through what that could look like in a shit hit the fan type situation. So when I first started prepping, I got something like this. It is basic, right? This is 101. It says 85 items, but it's basically a bunch of Band-Aids, which is fine. I'm not trying to shame anyone if this is all you have. But I really think this is like bare minimum starting out. When I actually started to think about it, I thought, okay, what would this be good for outside of cuts and scrapes, right? Probably not much. So when I'm thinking about an emergency situation, how do I build on top of that? And I noticed you could either spend a lot more money, like this was maybe $5 or $6 for the basic. You could spend $50 for one that says it comes with 300 items. But again, what are really those items? Are they just more Band-Aids or is it more of a variety? I noticed most of them were just more Band-Aids. So I started thinking about if I have a bigger cut or, a terrible injury, what do I need? I probably am going to need something to help stop the bleeding. So I did get some of these bleed stops that you pour onto wounds and it helps stop the bleeding. I got splints, I've got different wraps, I've got tapes, I've got bandages, things that are really going to assist with larger injuries. The next kind of area I looked at too was thinking about medicine. So that can be divided into two groups. One is over the counter, and most of these first aid kits don't come with anything. So we're talking even basic stuff like Dayquil or Advil or Benadryl, right? These are all things that I make sure now that I have in my first aid kit, but that most of them don't come with. So that's something that's been really important to me. And on the other side, it's things that you can't get over the counter. So examples of that are medicines from maybe different procedures you have, or this is a personal choice, but if a friend has something and they don't use all their medicine, I will ask for it if they no longer need it, and I will label it and keep it in my first aid kit. This is something that works for me. It's something that I just like knowing that I have in case I needed it later down the road. Those items are hard to get already. So imagine how difficult they'd be in a shit hit the fan situation. So all of those items that I get, I make sure that they are labeled with what they are, what the dosage is. I keep them in a secure spot. And that way I know I have them if I or someone else needed them and it was impossible to get due to the situation that we were in, whatever that looks like. So those are some of the main areas that I focused on. And then I've also just started to think about other things. So what I mean by other things is outside of just general medicine or general injuries, if there was something specific I'm prepping for, how could I help myself more? So an example of that would be if I was walking really long distances, making sure I have sunscreen, right? I am in Southern California, making sure I'm protected from the heat. I've got cold compresses now that I can activate instantly. I've got radiation tablets. Now, this is a lot more specific. It's something I cannot endorse or say that would work necessarily, but I ordered these online and God forbid there was a situation where I needed to use them, I have them. Also kind of just thinking more about day-to-day first aid and taking care of yourself, and I'll talk more about toiletries later. But something else that I've added was actually caffeine pills. I bought these on Amazon for like $3.99. It's 120 tablets, 100 milligrams each. I mean, that's basically 4 months worth of caffeine. The last thing I want to do is if I'm trying to survive is be worried about a caffeine headache. And I have other things as well, but those are just some of the things I've started thinking about and started building out. I would love to hear from everyone else what some of your most important items are in your first aid kit and areas that you're focusing on so that we can continue to build together. Thank you so much.